as we are just about ready to go. Mike Warren's down here in front with our honorary starters tonight. We'll kick it down trackside to Mike.
Get this field up and ready to go. All right, guys, we got the folks from Smoker's Choice down here. Let's let this field for the Northeast Crate Nationals hear it. Gentlemen, start your engines!
And the engines fire down here in front. 30 Sportsman cars slated to go 100 laps. Yellows will count through the first 3 quarters of the event, the last 25 laps. He will start for back in the 16 spot. Brian Pessolano in the 24 and Josh Sunn in the 11, side by side back in row 9. Row 10, JaMike Sowle in the 1Z and Jason Gray in the 00. Row 11, David Schilling in the 20 and Adam Pierson in the 15. Danny Santabarbara with the 7J and Cody Bleau with the 173. Row 12, row 13. The defending winner of this event, Tim Hartman Jr., starting deep. He starts 25th. Chris Schaffer outside of him, the 79 of Dave Constantino. Kevin Chaffee in the 73, the 33 of Matt Hitchcock, and Andrew Buff. Lights are off on the pace truck. Pace truck ready to take the hard left-hand turn. Ricci Peterson ready to wave the green flag as we are ready to go. The Northeast Crate Nationals, the King of Dirt event, ready to go green. Scott Duell going to pull the trigger off turn number 4. We are underway. Green is out.
Up into turn number 1 and 2 for the first time. It will be the 14 of Scott Duell with the race lead as they make their way down the back straightaway. Through turn number 3 and 4 they wind. Car up on the top side right away is going to be the 09 of Connor Cleveland. He'll work to the outside of Chris Stevens, or Brian Krummel rather, as they go up into turn number 1 and 2. Back off the cushion a little bit that time, but will regroup it as they head down the backstretch. Battle for the number 3 spot. Rocky Warner and Chad Edwards battling for position as the Flying Squirrel ducks to the inside. He'll take the number 3 spot away as they head down the front straightaway. And now work up into turn number 1 and 2. Mike Tholin starting to get a run on the outside lane. Top 4 going to shake out single file. Brian Krummel battling John Miller for the number 5 spot through turn number 3 and 4. And now Rocky Warner seeing some momentum come in on the inside as they click off lap number 3. Meanwhile, cars together in turn number 4. Nick Lussier gets into Josh Sunn. He's going to try to keep it going in yellow out on the speedway. So yellow flag out on the speedway as Nick Lussier kept it going. He got caught up on the outside wall, and that almost was ugly through turn number 4. Ovals ADIRONDACK Basement Systems, as well as many other sponsors we'll get to throughout the portion of this race as Scott Duell will bring it off at turn number 3 and 4. And we go back to green flag racing here just 6 laps into this one. 7 laps go in the books now as Duell going to look to lead him through turn number 1 and 2. Tholin going to try to battle on the top side. Jeremy Pitts with a great jump as he now sits 1 spot out of the top 5 as they ride down the back straightaway. Rocky Warner battling with Mike Tholin for the number 2 spot off at turn number 4 as they bring down lap number 8 on the lap counter. They carry it up through turn number 1 and 2 here off the back bumper. And that time Tholin touched the back bumper at the 14 of Scott Duell as cars shuffle a little bit as we have this 3-car battle up front. Car off the backstretch in turn number 3. That is the 406 of Allison Ricci, as it looks like she will come to a stop up in turn number 3 and 4, and a piece of debris up in the loose stuff as well, as that will bring the caution out on the speedway for the second time here in this feature event.
Rick Fifield, Warford. Good job, ladies.
Well, caution coming out, and Allison Ricci coming by with the 406 car.
Fifield from Waterford, who takes home $1,000 tonight. So congratulations to Craig Fifield out of Waterford, our Drivers Point Fund 50/50 raffle winner tonight. And we thank you all for participating as well.
Ricci Peterson going to show the white flag this time by. That's the signal to the field. They're going to go green next time around. Scott Duell and Mike Tholin up on the front row as they make their way down here into turn number 1. JaMike Sowle with a 1Z car going to go back behind the wall. JaMike also strong in his last chance qualifier. Looks like he'll be an early exit here with 12 laps shown complete. Ready to go back to green as they make their way down off of turn number 4. Green is back out. Scott Duell on the gas down here to turn number 1. Duell, your leader. Rolling Mike Tholin, rolling right up on the backside of him. Rocky Warner there in third. Then we've got them bunched together as they make their way down here into turn number 3. Up on the outside, it is the 14 machine of Chad Edwards there. The 88 car down to the inside, Brian Krummel. Krummel will now take fourth spot. Chad Edwards on the outside, now going to feel some pressure down low. It's going to be the 27 of Jeremy Pitts taking over the 5th position. Jeremy cracking the top 5 for the first time as they work their way off of turn number 2. Your leader up on the front, Scott Duell, about to feel pressure from the high side. As Tholin rolling off the high side of turn number 4, he's going to put a charge on the outside lane down into turn 1. They'll go side to side, wheel to wheel off turn number 2. Duell trying to hang on the lead down low, but Tholin trying to use the top side. Got one around in 2 to continue on, will remain under green. As your leaders go side by side once again down here to turn 1. 17 on the board, rolling Mike Tholin, now going to nose into the number 1 position. Down into turn number 3 they go. Tholin up on the high side, Duell trying to get back at him, but to no avail. Rolling Mike Tholin will be your new leader as he comfortably now takes that top spot down the backstretch. Second spot is Scott Duell. Rocky Warner nipping at his heels down here into turn number 3. Brian Krummel now saw the line that Tholin took, and he will try and use that same line down here to turn 1. Krummel going upstairs around Rocky Warner. He'll make the pass for third. Now go to work on Scott Duell as they make their way down into turn number 3. A great side-by-side battle for second.
Mike Tholin will keep the race lead here as we click off lap number 20 in this one. Brian Krummel now taking the number 2 spot outright as they make their way off at turn number 2. Scott Duell still going to see pressure now from the 1J of Rocky Warner as they carry it to the inside off at turn number 3 and 4. Duell very strong here in the early going, holding on to that number 3 spot as Chris Stevens out of shape on the back straightaway. He'll bring it into the infield as the cars continue to ride through turn number 3 and 4. Mike Tholin as he carries it off at turn number 4 as Stevens comes up and gets into Allison Ricci for a second. They can start to see slower traffic, and now Stevens hits the implement tire right in front of your race leaders as he slows in yellow, comes out on the speedway. Chris Stevens, your early pole sitter here from tonight, was one of your fastest timers out there and went straight to the redraw, having some trouble as the car got real loose here over the past couple of laps, and he made contact with the left rear tire with the implement tire up in turn number 2, right in front of your race leaders. Brennan Project Services, Lazaro's Auto Body, Saratoga Masonry, Horn Lady Motorsports, ASI Racewear, Bloomfield's Florist, Dual Family Racing, and Dean's Electrical Services. Clench green flag going to go back into the hand of Ricci. Pierson here as Mike Tholin and Brian Krummel now on the outside. Krummel doing a great job on the outside. One of these guys may have to drop low, though, and Tholin's going to be the one that chooses the inside lane as we go back to green off at turn number 4. Up through turn number 1 and 2 they ride. That time the 1J of Warner into the back bumper of Scott Duell, who ducks underneath the 88 of Brian Krummel down the back straightaway for the number 2 spot back again. Tholin will reassume command off at turn number 4 this time. Duell with a look underneath him as now Krummel going to wind it back up off the cushion along with Mike Tholin up into turn number 1 and 2. Krummel now going to try to pull to the right rear quarter panel of the 14 machine as they barrel down the back straightaway through turn number 3 and 4. They ride side by side for the number 2 spot off the corner as Krummel and Duell putting on a great battle for the runner-up position here as we approach lap 30. Krummel on the outside, going to find the momentum too strong off the corner. Duell going to try to battle back, but right now Krummel very strong. Rocky Warner still lurking, and now Jeremy Pitts up to a top 5 run as a car goes around up in between turn number 3 and 4. A number of cars going to follow behind them as looks like we have almost a parking lot in turn number 3 and 4, and that's going to bring out the yellow here once again with 28 completed.
Well, you're right, Mike. A number of cars involved in that. We see David Schilling aboard the 1-800-GOT-JUNK car going back into turn number 1. He is going to go back behind the wall. A couple of cars still sitting up here on the racing surface, back up past the field. He's going to go pit side as well. Mike Tholin is going to be your leader when we do go back to green as they make their way down the backstretch here. You see the number 88 car of Brian Krummel right there with him. The 14 of Scott Duell has been running in third. Rocky Warner back there in the 4th spot. 5th spot, the 27 of Jeremy Pitts. Then it's Connor Cleveland. He will restart from John Miller. And I direct your attention to your 10th place restarter. We made mention in the original lineup, he is the defending winner of this event, and he started all the way back in 25th position. That's Tim Hartman Jr., and Hartman cracked the top 10 about 3 laps before we saw that caution come out. Driver that is clearly on the move here, starting from 25th up into the top 10. Here with just over 25 laps on the board when we went caution. Ricci Pierson going to show the field the white this time by, and he'll go green next time around as Mike Tholin and now the Smoker's Choice number 88 car on the outside. That is Brian Krummel. Krummel just hopped out of the CRSA sprint car a few moments ago. Krummel, a very versatile driver. He's campaigned in, a number of different open wheel divisions, right, everything from the big block modified, small block modified, sportsman cars, Creighton Open, now the sprint cars. Keep an eye on him here as we're ready to go back to green off of turn number 4. Tholin rolling in the throttle off of turn number 4. Off the 4th turn they come down to turn number 1, and Brian Krummel going to run it into turn 1 a little bit deeper. He'll work a high side off of turn number 2. Tholin on the inside. They go side to side. Down into turn number 3. Krummel on the outside. Tholin on the inside. At the line, they're side by side once again. Brian Krummel does it off the high side of the speedway. Mike Tholin getting the power to the ground first off the inside. Car slow off of turn 4. It's the Stevens 83 car. He will go to the infield, leave the racetrack open as Brian Krummel, his Orange County compadre here, working up off of turn number 2. He is your new leader as he takes the top spot away from rolling Mike Tholin. Tholin on the high side of the raceway. He now finds Scott Duell working down inside of him. Rocky Warner back there in 4th, 5th spot, Jeremy Pitts. 6th position is the 09 of Connor Cleveland. 7th spot is Chad Edwards in the 14, and Edwards now going to pull side by side there with Cleveland. That is a side-by-side battle. Then it is our 2015 champion Derrick McGrew with the 27, Tim Hartman Jr. with the 22, and the 12 of John Miller, rounding out your top 10 runners here with 37 complete. 37 on the board for Brian Krummel up on the front of this one as they work their way down here into turn number 1. Got some side-by-side racing going on back here through the back. Here's Derrick McGrew working down to the inside of Chad Edwards, and now McGrew and Edwards will go wheel-to-wheel down to turn 3. McGrew going to use that inside lane. He'll take a spot away from Chad Edwards and now go to work on the 09, the Dean's Electric sponsored entry at Connor Cleveland. Got side-by-side battles up here in the front of the field. A good one now for 2nd spot that sees a new 2nd place man at the line.
Rocky Warner had just gotten by the 24 of Mike Tholin, and they'll keep the momentum rolling as it looks like Warner's car set up better for when the track starts to slicken up, and that's exactly what is happening out here on the racing surface here with 41 in the books. 88 of Brian Krummel still holding on to the race lead. Mike Tholin all over the back bumper of Rocky Warner for the number 2 spot. Jeremy Pitts is now cleared the 14 of Scott Duell as he sits in 4th, and Derrick McGrew still on the move as well as he sits 1 spot out of a top 5 run and using that inside lane and starting to run down the 14 of Scott Duell. Rocky Warner about as low as you can go that time off of turn number 2, trying to shade the deficit between 1st and 2nd as Brian Krummel out to about a half a straightaway advantage this time as 43 gets completed in the books. Slower traffic you can see out the front of the car is going to impede his progress here quite shortly here with 44 going in the books this time by. Now Mike Tholin's going to have to deal with pressure as Jeremy Pitts has reeled in the Tholin Excavating car number 24 machine as they come down the front straightaway. Pitts liking that inside lane a lot here, and that time he closes up almost on the quarter panel off of turn number 2. Derrick McGrew gets by Scott Duell as the car starts to smoke coming down the front straightaway. That's the 64 of Chris Schaffer through turn number 1 and 2 as they come down the backstretch once again here with 45 in the books. Brian Krummel has now reached the tail end of the field. He's gotten by Nick Lussier as Rocky Warner still battling on the inside. Jeremy Pitts has now caught the 24 of Mike Tholin as he rides to the inside of him here as we approach the halfway side in this one. Pitts to the inside. Tholin still riding the momentum on the outside, but the place to be may be the inside lane as Tim Hartman Jr. sneaks by Connor Cleveland that time. He now sits in spot number 8. Krummel going to be your race leader. Rocky Warner has approached the first car in slower traffic. That is the 3 of Nick Lussier as they go down the max straightaway side by side. Now you got 2 cars in front of your leader off at turn number 4 as Joey Scarborough and Andrew Buff sit right in front of Brian Krummel, and this may be Rocky Warner's chance to strike if he can get a little more momentum on the inside lane. Battle for the 3rd spot now is complete as the 27 of Jeremy Pitts dives underneath Mike Tholin. He'll take spot number 3 away here as 49 go in the books. And Rocky Warner starting to reel in Brian Krummel a little bit as they head down the back straightaway. And as we hit the halfway sign this time by, Brian Krummel is in heavy lap traffic.
50 laps on the board, 50 in and 50 remain for Krummel with the 88 machine, but he has hit very heavy lap traffic now, and lap traffic is going to be the equalizer in this one as Rocky Warner has been able to close up what was almost a half a straightaway, now down to about 4 car lengths. They make their way down here to turn number 1. Warner dealing with that traffic as well. He's got cars both high and low as Krummel zigzagging his way from inside to outside. Down here off of turn number 4, Krummel leads it down across the stripe with Warner back there in second, separated by 1 slower automobile. Then there's a couple of slow cars between second and third. Here's Jeremy Pitts making his way by Andrew Buff. He rides in third. Mike Tholin back about another dozen car lengths back behind them, your 4th place car. And Derrick McGrew rounding out your top 5. Smoke off Krummel's car. Smoke off of the 88 of Krummel. And that is going to bring Yellow out on the speedway. Yellow is out. Lap 53 and a very abrupt stop over in turn number 2 for what was your leader, the 88 of Brian Krummel. The Smoker's Choice car just went up in smoke in turn number 2. Krummel has climbed out of the cockpit over there. What a disappointment for the driver of the 88, another Middletown regular. Also seeing disappointment here on the front straightaway. Chris Stevens going back behind the wall with the 83. Krummel with the 88 over in turn number 2, the reason for the caution. That is going to hand the lead to the driver of the Jake Spraker used cars, number 1 car, the 1J of Rocky Warner. Warner already up over the 20-win plateau here in 2015 here at Albany Saratoga Speedway in this division as of late. Pitts got hot towards the end of the season. As a matter of fact, Mikey told you in Victory Lane we stumbled upon something, and it is certainly shown here in the latter stages. Sportsman or small block cars had a good run earlier here in the CRSA sprint cars, but Brian has come up short. A number of times he's been up here, either a DNF or due to mechanical failure or been caught up in somebody else's accident. But a very talented driver, Brian Krummel, going back behind the wall, former champion down at the Orange County Fair Speedway. But tonight he will show deep in the results column after leading a number of laps here in the Northeast Crate Nationals. We're going to watch Rocky Warner and Jeremy Pitts square off on the front of this one. This one 58 laps in, 42 to go. It'll be 41 when they hit the line. That's a long ways to go. We got 2 of the best. restarting from the top spot here as they make their way off of turn number 4. Down at turn number 1, Rocky leads the way here into turn 1. Jeremy Pitts right there for second. Derrick McGrew in third. Rolling Tholin in fourth spot. Tim Hartman Jr. trying to hold off the challenge of Scott Duell. That is your top 5. Here's we put 60 on the board.
Jeremy Pitts trying to ride to the outside of your race leader off of turn number 2, but that time Rocky Warner gets away just a little bit down the backstretch, opening up to about a 5-car length advantage. Pitts may know he can't get him on the low side, so he's got to try something up top, but right now that hasn't been working, as Warner's starting to pull away from your second place man. Meanwhile, a side-by-side battle for the number 4 spot down the back straightaway as Derrick McGrew going to backslide as here's Tim Hartman Jr. on the inside lane looking to take the spot away. Hartman will be your new 4th place man as they come down the front stretch and up into turn number 1 and 2. And he's starting to really take a liking to that inside lane as he's going to try to run down Mike Tholin to get into a podium position here off of turn number 3 and 4. Down the front stretch they ride. 63 now going into the books, as Rocky Warner still holding on to this one. Tholin on the outside trying to make a pit on Jeremy Pitts as he starts to run him down on the top side. So Pitts sits second, Tholin third, Tim Hartman Jr. fourth, Derrick McGrew sits fifth, Josh Sunn sitting in spot number 6, 7th is Scott Duell, 8th is Brian Pessolano, 9th Chad Edwards, and rounding out your top 10 is the 09 of Connor Cleveland. Josh Sunn has made his way by the 14 of Scott Duell for the number 6 spot. Is now Hartman and McGrew go side by side for position. Meanwhile, battle for the number 2 spot starting to brew, but Tholin lost a lot of momentum that time. He got caught too far up top on the cushion through turn number 3 and 4 that time. That allows Derrick McGrew to pull up underneath him looking for the number 3 spot. Through turn number 3 and 4 as Tholin still riding it up on the top side. He'll get back out right, and now here comes Hartman to the outside. Hartman towards the end of the season like using the outside lane, and we'll see if he finds something up there as we move towards the closing stages of this one, as 67 go in the books this time for the Flying Squirrel, Rocky Warner. Up through turn number 1 and 2 they go as the top 3 start to separate a little bit, but Derrick McGrew dives back underneath Tim Hartman Jr. as he still tries to take the number 3 spot away from Mike Tholin at the same time. 68 go in the books now. Pitt still holding on to this number 2 spot as he sits about 10 car lengths ahead of your 3rd place man, the 24 of rolling Mike Tholin, who's keeping the momentum going on the top side, but that time Derrick McGrew going to close the gap to about 4 car lengths as McGrew starting to find a little momentum on the inside lane. McGrew will battle back on the inside this time as the field starts to shake out a little bit as Yellow out on the speedway. A car it looks like with front end trouble. That is the driver out of Easton, Connecticut in the 7 machine. That is Michael Sabia. Sabia with trouble on the back straightaway here as lap number 70 will click off on the board as they take the front straightaway. Reward Trophy, DirtTrackDigest.com, Sereni's Pizzeria, and Mayhem Motorsports. All part of the King of Dirt Series and the Northeast Race Nationals here for 2015.
Ricci Peterson's got the clenched green in hand once again, ready to go back to green. Rocky Warner, he will set the pace down through turn 3 and 4. He'll roll into the throttle now off of turn 4. Green flag back out, down to turn number 1 they go. Jeremy Pitts going to try and bang the cushion down here into turn number 1. Doesn't get him anywhere. As a matter of fact, it's going to get him a side-by-side battle with our champion here in 2015. So 2015 champion meet the 2013 and 14 champion as they now go side to side. Derrick McGrew works his way by Jeremy Pitts. He'll take over the runner-up position. Tim Hartman has also made an advance. He gets by the 24 of Roland Mike Tholin. Hartman now your 4th place runner. Tholin back to 5th spot. Good run for Josh Sunn in the 11 car. His son 1 spot out of a top 5 run. As they make their way down the backstretch as we are at the 3/4 mark. Cautions will not count from here on in. All 25 remaining laps will be run under the green. Mike Tholin trying to come back at the outside of Tim Hartman. Hartman using that inside lane, trying to find an advantage, trying to run down the 27 of Jeremy Pitts. Now Hartman will change lanes. He'll go upstairs test the waters up on the high side down here to turn 1. Someone who can test the waters anywhere they want to go is Rocky Warner, as right now he has separated himself from the pack once again. Warner up here on the number 1 position. John Miller's in trouble on the back straightaway. Miller off the pace. He gathers it back up in the 12 car. Miller back underway. We're going to remain under green, but Miller in the Ken's Auto BNZ Motorsports entry going back behind the wall with 79 on the board. 79 complete. Rocky Warner going to lead the way down the back straightaway. When they come to the stripe, it'll be 20 laps remaining, and the Flying Squirrel trying to pick up the Northeast Crate Nationals with 20 to go. Warner, your leader.
Car off the pace in turn number 2. That is the 15 of Adam Pierson, and that will bring caution out on the speedway with just 20 laps remaining. And that is going to bring Derrick McGrew back to Rocky Warner here as the...
And the 22 of Tim Hartman Jr. Yes, pits can play rough too. We've seen that. And go back to the battle that Tim Hartman Jr. had with Rocky Warner earlier in the year, where we watched both of them get knocked out of the top spots here. So we may have a slam-bang affair before this one's over. Ready to go back to green. Green is out. We're back underway with 20 to go.
Up there, turn number 1 and 2, they ride. Rocky Warner going to take control of this one once again by about 4 car lengths. They head down the back straightaway. Contact hard down the backstretch as Allison Ricci gets into Dave Constantino. The 98 of Andrew Buff in there as well, along with the 64 of Chris Schaffer, as Yellow is back out on the speedway again.
That's not what I was talking about. Slam-bang affair wasn't exactly what I had in mind, but we have got some pretty heavy contact and carnage on the back straightaway. Disappointing end of the night for young Allison Ricci, the 3rd-generation driver out of New Paltz. Dave Constantino in the West End 79 car. Nobody has to question the runs that Dave Constantino has had here in 2015. Of course, one of the powerhouses out to the Fonda Speedway on Saturday nights. Constantino picking up victories across the Northeast. Disappointing end to his night. Chris Schaffer over on the back straightaway, and Andrew started up on the front of the field and stayed in the front of the field for the entire event. Came home with a very impressive 2nd place finish for Andrew Buff, making the move up into the Sportsman division. And for those folks who are out in the grandstand area wondering what we're saying up to the Sportsman, we do have a limited Sportsman division here, equivalent to what a lot of folks, a lot of speedways will call their rookie, Sportsman rookie class or novice class. We call them the limited Sportsman because it is most generally drivers with limited experience. Sometimes some folks will take that a little further and say also limited budget, but limited experience, and so it gives these drivers a chance to come out and race against their peers, drivers with equal type experience. And Andrew Buff, the young gun there in the 98 machine. Here's the Schaffer machine coming back down towards the pit area, which leaves just Dave Constantino's mount over on the back straightaway.
Car number 79 machine, as Allison Ricci also goes off on the wrecker, and
if I remember right, I think he drew the pole, correct, and went wire to wire technically, but tonight a little bit different situation. He has already passed over 20 cars to get to where he is. Certainly not that it was a walk in the park last time, because he had to fend off some of the best. So 79 on the board. Here's a 79 coming around to the tail of the field as well. Dave Constantino going to continue on. As Rocky Warner Going to bring the field back to life here off of turn number 4. Ready to go. Green flag in hand. Now in the air. We're back underway as Rocky Warner leads the way down here into turn number 1.
Derrick McGrew going to wind it up on the top side this time. See if he can grab some momentum off of turn number 2. But Warner going to drive away from him down the back straightaway as they ride into turn number 3 and 4. Tim Hartman Jr. lurking right behind him as he goes to the inside lane as they bring it back down the front straightaway now with 20 laps remaining. Jeremy Pitts now looking to try to find something as he brings it up on the outside. That time taking a look on the right side of Derrick McGrew as he'll come through turn number 3 and 4. Pitts trying to figure it out up on the top side as most of the drivers hugging the bottom here towards the front. We hit the final stages of this event. Tim Hartman Jr. now going to look as he will pull up to the quarter panel of the 27 of Pitts as they barrel it into turn number 3 and 4 once again. Here's Hartman to the inside, looking to make something happen. Duell and Sunn side by side behind them as Scott Duell looking to recrack the top 5 as these two battles go side by side, allowing the 1 of Warner to get away along with the 27 of McGrew. This battle for third, turning the wick up even more off the corner as Tim Hartman Jr. finding the momentum he needs off the corner that time, and at the line he might have had it. Too close to call as Jeremy Pitts still rocking the outside, but that time Hartman Jr. going to pull to the inside lane and get him out right down the back straightaway as Hartman Jr. now going to third. He's only got 2 more cars left to pass after passing the majority of the field here in this one, but he only has 16 laps remaining and 2 of the best drivers in sportsman history right in front of him as Rocky Warner going to continue to bring it through turn number 3 and 4. He'll put 85 in the books this time. Scott Duell may have found something on the top as he got by Josh Sunn that time. He's now going to rim right off the cushion, and you know Scott Duell, he loves the outside lane, and that car may be coming on late here before this one's all said and done as he now works to the outside of Jeremy Pitts looking for the number 4 spot off of turn number 4. They'll close the gap to within 2 car lengths down into turn number 1 and 2 this time. They'll wind it up a little bit more as they come off the corner. That time Pitts, though, got away as he found something on the inside lane to pull away from Duell that time as Warner puts 87 in the books. Tim Hartman Jr. closed the gap a little bit that time between him and Derrick McGrew between 2nd and 3rd. But time is of the essence in this race as we move to the final 12 laps of this event. As they come through turn number 3 and 4 this time, it's going to be Warner putting 88 down as the battles continue to rage on. We're side by side for spot number 7. Kevin Chaffee and the 24 of Brian Pessolano for position. Up through turn number 1 and 2 this time as Chaffee tries to push to the inside. Chaffee will get the spot away from Pessolano as Pessolano riding the top side up through turn number 3 and 4. Chad Edwards going to come in right behind him in the DODSON construction machine as they barrel it down the front straightaway. Meanwhile, Rocky Warner going to bring it through turn number 3 and 4 smoothly. Lap traffic could be a factor when all this is said and done, but nevertheless, he is your leader with 10 to go.
With 10 laps to go, just about a half a straightaway separate Rocky Warner and the tail of the field. But he's got almost that same distance separating himself and the second place runner, Derrick McGrew. Here's Warner swinging down off of turn number 4 to put 91 on the board. Dave Constantino going back behind the wall with the 79 machine. So Constantino back into the pit area with 91 on the board. Only 9 laps remain, and Rocky Warner now within sight of the tail end of the field. That would be the number 12 of John Miller as they work their way down here off of turn number 2. Warner quickly approaching. Derrick McGrew all alone back there in second. Tim Hartman Jr. a distant third. And then we find the 27 of Jeremy Pitts. He rides in fourth. A good side-by-side battle back there for fifth spot. On the inside is Josh Sunn with the 11. On the outside is the 14 of Scott Duell. They race side-by-side for fifth back there off of turn number 2, while Warner now finding himself in a side-by-side situation with a couple slower cars getting by both John Miller and Andrew Buff. Now that'll give him some clear sailing up on the front, as when he comes to the stripe, it'll be 5 laps remaining next time around. 5 laps to go when they hit the stripe this time. Rocky Warner out in control of this one. trying to pick up the Northeast Crate Nationals as he works his way down the back straightaway. Got himself almost a full straightaway lead on the 27 of Derrick McGrew now, and not just that distance, he's got two slower cars separating the two at the same time. Tim Hartman Jr. trying to draw in on McGrew. McGrew just starting to catch slower traffic. That'd be the 98 of Andrew Buff on the outside of him. Here's Hartman trying to close ground between himself and McGrew. Meanwhile, your leader coming up on a couple more slower cars. The 406 of Allison. Ricci will be the first one he sees. When he gets down towards turn number 3, he'll take an outside line up here through the corner. Ricci down on the extreme inside. Your leader coming down here to get the 2 to go sign this time by. 2 laps remain for Rocky Warner up on the front of this one as the Flying Squirrel trying to soar his way to victory here in the Northeast Crate Nationals. He'll look for the white flag this time by. White is out. One more time around the great race plays for Rocky Warner. Derrick McGrew back there in second, unchallenged for that position as Tim Hartman Jr. back about 9, maybe 10 car lengths behind him. Checkered flag going to fly this time by. The Northeast Crate Nationals goes to Rocky Warner. Warner picks up the victory. In the 1J car, coming home second will be the 27 of Derrick McGrew. Third spot goes to the 22 of Tim Hartman Jr. Jeremy Pitts will finish in fourth with the number 27, and rounding out your top 5 will be the 11 of Josh Sunn. That is going to be the way your top 5 finish. Rocky Warner already down here in the victory lane. The 27 of Derrick McGrew coming along with him as he will finish in the runner-up position and completing your podium finish all the way from back in 25th starting spot. It'll be Tim Hartman Jr. coming home in third. That is the way your top 3 finish as they make their way down here into victory lane. Rocky Warner already locking down the number 1 down here. Remainder of the automobiles coming to a rest down here in front, the top 3. Remainder heading back down into the pit area. Got one more event on tonight's card. That will be the Street Stock feature event, the finale on tonight's program. But before we go street stock racing, we have got some business to take care of down here in front as Rocky Warner getting unbuckled from the Jake Sprakers Used Cars Automobile. Ladies and gentlemen, the Northeast Crate Nationals now belong to the Flying Squirrel. As he goes to victory lane, Rocky Warner down here on the front stretch will go to Mike Warren.
Well, thank you, Dan. Rocky Warner, let me be the first to say you are the 2015 Northeast Crate National Champion, and I'll tell you what, that inside lane could not have been working better for you tonight.
No, I tell you, it worked really good. You never know. The top looked really good. It looked really bitey, but I knew some of the good quality cars were up there, weren't going back around me. You know, Scott Duell, he loves the outside, and if he wasn't making it work, I was kind of confident at the bottom. But the bottom went away a little bit at the end, I thought, but I tell you, all those late restarts had me nervous.
Now, this way this season's been going, win number 22 on the season for you. This has got to be a season of dreams.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I can't say enough for, my fans, my crew, my family, all the crew guys that put the hard work in. Jake and Nancy Spraker give me the good quality equipment, you know what I mean? Wasn't for these guys, we'd be doing something. I don't know if we'd be doing it this way, though.
All right, Rocky, congratulations on the win. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2015 Northeast Crate National Champion, the driver of the Jake Sprakers Used Cars, Carnival 1J of Rocky Warner. Move over quick and talk to our second place finisher, Derrick McGrew. Derrick, a great run out there tonight, coming home just a little bit short.
Yeah, we didn't draw very good. We started 10th. We just, bided our time, stayed out of trouble, and tried to be there at the end. And we, ran a clean race, and we were there at the end. It's not where I wanted to be, but, it was a good run. And my teammate for 2016 finished right behind us, so it was a decent night.
All right, Derrick, congratulations. Derrick McGrew, your second place finisher, and one guy, boy, did you pass a lot of cars tonight, Timmy. A great run for you coming from 25th to 3rd.
Yeah, I wish we had a little bit better starting spot. We were kind of behind the 8 ball right after time trials, and didn't make it through the heat, didn't make it through the consi, but luckily we got a provisional, and we just threw the kitchen sink at it there for the 100-lapper, and boy, it was fast.
One thing with you going to the inside, which is a little different, you like the outside a little bit more, I feel like, here that I've seen in recent weeks.
Yeah, I wish there was a little bit more of a top in places where he can make a couple passes easier, but that just shows, that just makes you a better driver. You have to search around the racetrack, find where there's some bite, and see what you can get.
All right, Tim, congratulations. Tim Hartman Jr., your third place finisher here tonight. That's all we're going to have down here trackside. We'll send it back up to Dan Martin.
Well, thank you, Mike, and congratulations. Go out to Rocky Warner down there in Victory Lane, as well as Derrick McGrew and Tim Hartman Jr. McGrew coming home in the runner-up position, and Hartman all the way from 25th starting position to crack the top 3. He completes the podium finish down here.